Welcome to Your Health, where we explore the latest in health across the country. I'm your host, Erica Cardenas. Baseball season is here, and we're at Chase Field, home of the Arizona Diamondbacks, to talk men's health. But before we get started, let's take a look at what's coming up on today's show. If chronic pain is stopping you from living a full life, a new therapy may be the key to bouncing back. We've got a great recipe for a smoothie that's easy to make and delicious. And the healing power of music. See how it's making a difference for a group of sick kids. All that and more on this episode of Your Health. It's estimated that 86 million Americans are living with chronic pain. Now there's a type of therapy that can help ease that pain and help you enjoy life again.
I'm an exercise physiologist. I've been doing research on all different types of alternative therapies for a few years now. I can tell you this is very synergistic with other alternative methods like yoga and meditation, things that relax the nervous system. But in my experience, nothing has come even close to the results that we're getting with wave therapy. Wave therapy is an FDA Class 1 medical therapy that has absolutely no contraindications or side effects, but it produces immediate and quantifiable improvements in circulation, inflammation, nervous system, and overall cellular health.
Before I started wave therapy, I had neuropathy in my hands and my feet and lymphedema in my right arm. Due to 2015, I had cancer and went through chemo and also radiation treatments. So as for that, as the pain continued, I was told that it would not probably get any better, and therefore I started wave therapy.
People are turning to alternatives because everything that's been posed to them up to date has given some relief, but not long-term relief. And they're looking for other alternatives. And the wave therapy is certainly the alternative that you want to use. I was very skeptical at first, to be very frank with you. However, after the visits, I've made it a point twice a month to make a visit to the wave therapy.
Medicine has always kind of missed the big component of mental, mind health. Things like, relaxation is just kind of completely overlooked in medicine. They really like to treat the symptom as opposed to really the root cause, which is stress on the body or pain or inflammation. So that's kind of why people are turning more towards, let's actually fix the problem and not just kind of, mask my pain here for a few weeks and then I'm gonna have issues with my other knee or something along those lines.
I'm an ex-NFL football player, okay? I'm used to being, cortisone, opiates, on a normal basis every day because your body gets beat up nonstop. I would definitely recommend it for people in pain because people don't know that this can help them without doing these ultimate methods of, opiates, drinking, masking the pain. This takes it away. I'm happy. I have more energy, and it's been a long time coming.
Because of wave therapy, I was able to get off the pain medication and be able to be 100% committed to my children.
Wave therapy is going to be beneficial in terms of prevention as well as reaction to a medical symptom. The fact that it is non-invasive, has absolutely no side effects, makes it really a great non-invasive and non-pharmaceutical approach to pain management, neurodegenerative diseases, things like Lyme disease. So those where really a traditional medical model really does not have a good answer for them.
Being a kid today can be so hard. There's so much pressure, and it can cause children to turn to harmful behaviors or even addiction. Let's visit a center that's helping young people deal with their trauma in a positive and healthy way.
The purpose of Decision Point is really to create a program that does what drug and alcohol treatment should do. We absolutely know that alcoholism and drug addiction don't occur by themselves. Most of the time, what we see is an individual who has experienced trauma, an individual who has a co-occurring mental illness. Some come from really significantly horrific family situations. A lot of healing has to be done. Most of the people out there don't understand that the correlation that exists between having been traumatized at some point in your life and developing a substance use addiction or alcoholism is 85% in the research literature. We rarely have a client at Decision Point who doesn't do some element of trauma work. The most effective way to do that is EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. It is the Department of Defense treatment of choice for veterans returning home from Iraq and Afghanistan. And we utilize other protocols within EMDR that actually allow us to disconnect the pleasurable feeling in the brain and the relief of anxiety from the use of the substance. And when that happens, what we observe is wonderful. The brain begins to present the individual with alternative ways to feel good and not be anxious that don't involve substances anymore.
I know by continuing to do the right thing, I got people that are willing to show up for me and guide me along the way and help me out as much as possible. You know, and that's only through opening my mouth and trying to build the relationships with people and not being so closed off that led me to the same place over and over again.
Whatever you might be thinking, they get you here, man. They understand. It saved my life and continues to today.
There's a better life out there, and sometimes you just need a wake-up call. There's hope after that, you know?
Our mission is to give them the tools to maintain sobriety and to be able to launch them into a life that has direction and purpose, and to let them know from the very beginning that we have not given up on them and that we never will.
It's so important for parents to find a time to connect with their kids. Once a month, plan a special day for just the two of you. Set aside time to talk to each other every day, even in the car. Share highs and lows. Go around the table and ask every family member to share a good thing that happened and a not so good thing. It will bring you closer together. There's more to come on your health. Summertime is almost here, and if you want to tone up a bit, Weight Watchers has a great meal plan to help. And the CEO of the Arizona Diamondbacks shares his personal story about overcoming cancer. Are you finding it hard to eat healthy? Whether you're a guy or gal, you'll find Weight Watchers' new freestyle program is the perfect choice.
Weight Watchers has something to deliver to most of the population of the country. Healthy is the new in instead of skinny. And healthy means that you're going to be eating healthier, moving more, even having a more positive mindset and getting more involved in your happiness. Weight Watchers is all about that. You know, we have a fabulous food plan that leads people to make better choices, and we coach people into making better portion control choices as well.
The Weight Watchers program that we have right now is called Freestyle. It's the most flexible program that we've had so far, by far my favorite. I think that it adds a lot of validity for me, that as the program changes, I don't change. My weight stays the same, my habits are staying the same, and that flexibility is what members are really loving right now.
The Freestyle program is built with enormous flexibility, and what that means is that there's a lot less tracking. If a member's able to track less and eat more naturally, because there's so many 0-point foods, over 200 0-point foods on the food list, that means that any place you go, you can find a food that's easily eaten and you don't have to track it at all. Lots of flexibility. And they're usually foods that we really like. The other reason why a food might be a 0-point food is because it's not a food that you would usually abuse. The food plan is accessible as well. You know, one thing that many members tell me is that, hey, you know, I spend less money on groceries now because I'm not going through the drive-up window impulsively. I buy less junk food. It's surprising how cheap it is to eat when you eat the exterior part of the grocery store, you know, the fruits and vegetables, the lean meats, whole grain breads. You know, you work your way around the grocery store and stay out of the center where all that processed food is.
I feel like there's a lot of freedom in the program, and that flexibility is what members are really loving right now.
We have meetings 7 days a week, more than 65 locations across the state, 200 and almost 70 meetings a week to choose from. So it's very accessible. Our staff do share their own stories, and that's a powerful part of Weight Watchers, is that everybody who works for Weight Watchers came out of what I say one of the chairs. That means that they have joined the Weight Watchers program, they've lived the program, they've decided they want to help others live healthier too, and that's a big part of why Weight Watchers is successful.
I can't describe what it's like to motivate and inspire other people to just make one good choice tomorrow, one better choice, right? One healthier choice. And it's life-changing. It's what keeps me coming back. They inspire me, I think, more than I inspire them.
We're here at Chase Field, home of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and joining me now is their CEO, Derrick Hall. Welcome, Derrick.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for being here.
Now, you've always been very upfront about your prostate cancer diagnosis as well as your journey. Tell us, first of all, how did you find out you had prostate cancer and what was your treatment?
You know, it was totally by accident. Very lucky that it was diagnosed because I was going for routine checkups with a cardiologist who was running normal tests, and he called me up and said, hey, your cholesterol's looking better, your blood pressure's good, you know, medications are working. I said, oh, great. About to hang up. He said, wait. He said, your PSA level's really high. And I said, well, I don't know what PSA is. I didn't even know. And he said, well, I'm going to refer you to our urologist. And I went in and talked to the urologist, and he explained, and we performed a biopsy, and at that point learned that I did indeed have cancer. So the prostate cancer had spread quite a bit. There was a little bit of a escape, as they call it, marginal escape. And at that point, we decided right away to go with surgery and have the prostate removed. So there's a lot of options. There are, you know, proton beams. There's radiation that you can go through. Different methods. But every time I looked into one of the new treatments, I always heard if it doesn't work, you can't have surgery. When I kept hearing that, I thought, well, why don't I have surgery? If I was that young, at the time 42 years old when I was diagnosed, I thought I'll go ahead and have surgery, and knock on wood, it's been good.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So prostate cancer isn't something that men typically talk about, but you've been very vocal and open about your story. Why is that?
Well, it is so prominent. I don't think most realize, and you know, it's much like women with breast cancer. 1 in 6 men are going to be diagnosed with prostate cancer. 250,000 men each year are diagnosed, and 30,000 men succumb to the disease. So it's very prominent. A lot of men are affected by it. So I just think that we should come forward and let people know as much as possible, drive awareness, educate men, and really drive them to their doctors and have them get checked up and at least get that marker so they can watch it over time and make sure that it doesn't get out of hand.
Absolutely. And speaking of education, you actually created a foundation called Prostate.
Yeah.
Talk to us more about that.
Yeah, so it's prostate, and it's a play on words, pro-state, pro-state, the Derrick Hall pro-state Foundation, and it's really to do just that, to answer questions, to let people know I've been through this, I want to be very upfront, transparent about it. Tell my story, tell my journey, give a lot of the options that men can go through. So I think our foundation and our website is a good place to go and educate.
Generally speaking then, men sometimes tend to ignore certain
Yes.
health issues. So what would your advice and message be to all men regarding their health?
To not be foolish and to go in and be proactive. Because the key to really any disease or any cancer is early detection. If you detect it early enough, it can be treated. It's remarkable how many men will now come to me, because we've been out there sort of pounding our chest for the last 7 or 8 years, that will come to me and say, thank you. You know, now I've gone to the doctor and I'm okay, I'm good. Or others that have come to me and said, thank you, I have it, and you know, can I talk to you and find out what your advice would be.
Well, thank you so much, Derrick, for sharing your journey and your story with us, and for everything that you're doing for those who are going through prostate
Thanks,
cancer.
Erica. Appreciate you looking at it too.
If you'd like more information about Derrick's foundation, head over to their website. Coming up on Your Health, the healing power of music in action. And we've got a recipe for a mango lassi smoothie that is out of this world. Let's head to California to check out a special program that's bringing the healing power of music to sick kids. Time for the Pickleberry Pie concert series.
If we ran the hospital, now we'd do everyone a favor. We'd make every drop of medicine vanilla flavor. The people at the hospital are great, and Janie Wood is the child life specialist, and she smooths away and sets things up, and she finds out ahead of time which children are up for hearing music and which ones maybe aren't feeling so well, or they're down getting some lab tests or something.
Lanny started with us many years ago doing the Pickleberry Pie series, and just one, entertainment, two, bringing a lot of joy and enthusiasm to a place that's not always a happy place.
When we go in, you never know, room to room, and we can't really talk about the kids' illnesses or diseases or stresses because of the privacy issues, but we can see pretty much what the situation is when we go in, and we have to be careful about what kind of music we play. We have to be considerate of the hospital itself, keeping the noise level down. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, old Mother Nature's recipes will bring. And really, all the nurses and the doctors that work there, they're so friendly, and they're participants because they're coming and going and setting up machines or whispering to the parents while I'm playing, and so they're totally into it and part of the whole musical environment. And sometimes if I'm at a certain point in a song, I'll make a reference to a nurse or a doctor who's in there, and again, just to kind of give them a little chuckle, because their jobs are pretty stressful too. And take a glance at the F-14 high-powered airplane. The bare necessities of life.
Music can transform, it can take you away, it can allow you to leave the moment that you're in long enough to take that feeling that you've got and laugh or cry or just relax.
All right, Alex. Thanks for being such a good audience, Alex. I almost play all original songs that I've written. So they're funny songs. For the really young kids, I'll play lullabies, or if someone's maybe on some kind of medication that makes them kind of sleepy. Hey, Logan. And then I have one song that I wrote, and I left certain key words out of the song. And so I engage the kids by saying, hey, do you want to help me finish this song? And then they tell me their favorite food and their favorite band and favorite animal, and then I plug it into the song. If Logan and I ran the hospital, we'd make every day a blast. We'd make all the stitches and the pills and the scars and the waking you up at 2 in the morning to take your temperature a thing of the past. Probably the most challenging gig, but at the same time, it's really a beautiful gift to be able to go in there and take the kids and their families away from all that for about 5 minutes or 10 minutes or half an hour. But at the end of the day, it's a great thing.
Men's Health magazine recently published a list of the best music to run to. Bruce Springsteen, Eminem, and Tom Petty all made it. So get those iPods loaded, lace up those running shoes, and head outside for some exercise. Next, a recipe for a smoothie that's easy to make and will put a smile on your face. Demo kitchen at Fry's Marketplace, and joining me is Chef O. Welcome, Chef O.
Thank you.
You know, one of my favorite things to do every day is whip up a smoothie. What do you have for us today?
Today we're going to make a peach mango lassi.
And what is that exactly? When you say lassi, what does that mean?
So lassi comes from India.
Okay.
And many people consider it like the original smoothie. So kind of started there and branched out through the world.
Okay, and take us through some of these delicious ingredients. What do we have here?
So we have some mineral water, and that adds a nice lightness, a little fizz in the mouth.
Okay.
Some fresh Greek yogurt, and of course a peach and our mango. And today we're going to put in a little ginger and some turmeric, and a little chia seeds and flax, and of course some ice there to get it nice and chilled down.
So let's talk about some of these ingredients here. I personally love to use chia seeds in my smoothies. Take us through some of the health ingredients with the ginger and the turmeric.
So turmeric, of course, we have anti-inflammatory, right? Ginger helps in digestion, and again, also with the anti-inflammatory antioxidants. With the flax and the chia, you're getting extra fiber and some protein in a pretty small, compact amount. And also it helps with a kind of mouthfeel, you know, so that richness of the smoothie.
Right. Yeah. Now, Chef, really quickly, what makes a lassi a lassi?
The yogurt is primarily that it is a yogurt-based drink. Okay. And then you can make it, originally they had some savory ones and also some sweet ones.
Okay, perfect. Now, let's go ahead and you do your thing, and let's start making this smoothie.
So we start with our mineral water. When you're putting together a smoothie, you want to put your liquids and your, I would say, softer ingredients in first. Okay, we got our peaches. You want to put your ice in at the last because that's the hardest thing to break down.
Perfect. So and then you'll go ahead and add these other types of ingredients like your chia seeds, your ginger.
Yep, we're going to mix it a little bit and then we'll add those in. And then a little squirt. Today we have a little agave, but you could use maple syrup, honey. And then yes, we always want to taste before we
have to taste your creation
before we serve it out to make sure we put everything in right. Got to taste the way that we like it.
Mmm, that is good.
So that little fizz on your mouth. That's from the mineral water there.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much. This
You're
is
very
absolutely delicious. Men often overlook going to the doctor or are afraid to talk about certain health issues. Here are 3 things that men and their partners need to pay attention to. Is he a snorer? Men who snore have a good chance of developing sleep apnea. That's when their airway is obstructed and they stop breathing while asleep. It can be dangerous, so let a doctor know if your man sounds like a foghorn. Make sure to always wear sunscreen. Melanoma cases among men are up 150% in the last few years, and it can be deadly. See a dermatologist once a year. And finally, he doesn't have to try to be Thor in the gym. Overdoing it on lifting or any type of exercise as we age can lead to hip or knee problems. We want to thank Derrick Hall and the Arizona Diamondbacks for hosting us today, and thank you for joining us on Your Health. I'm Erica Cardenas. See you next time.